May 25th is Memorial Day, a time to remember the sacrifices made by our fallen service members. But many veterans still living in the area say their continued service often goes unnoticed. The Coon Rapids VFW Post 9625 was started by World War II veterans more than 60 years ago.
They were the big part of this post, and they're the ones, they built this post with their own two hands. It was all volunteer labor. They had a contractor who ran the job, but most of this work inside and out was done by volunteer help.
Veterans of other foreign wars made their way to the post on Coon Rapids Boulevard, but many didn't find it quickly when their time in the service ended.
In fact, I don't think I even knew about the VFW when I was in the service. My father wasn't a member at that time. I was about 40 years old, I think, and I was looking for something to do, to talk to other guys that had been in their service, that type of thing. And I had two guys come up to my house and explain what the VFW did, and kind of got interested in it.
Actually, I joined initially right after I got out because there was a VFW within a block and a half where I was living at the time. But then I moved on, and so I didn't keep up with that and let everything lapse. And then I rejoined 25 years ago, 1990.
Vietnam vets like Marv Repke and Robert Fawcett have taken over posts throughout the country, but they say the younger generation of veterans has been more hesitant to join and take on active roles.
I really thought it was just old-timers talking about war stories.
Shane Fields served in the Marines during Desert Storm and was deployed in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia for more than a year before coming home in 1994. He says he transitioned well back into civilian life, working and spending time with his family, and put memories of combat behind him.
I just kind of buried the whole experience and never thought about it.
But he says he reconnected with other veterans after stopping by the VFW one day.
I actually wandered into the VFW, and one of the members said, are you a member? And I said, no, I wasn't. And so he goes, do you want to become a member? And I says, I'm like, well, I didn't really care either way. And I said, sure, I'll do it.
Shane says he played an inactive role until realizing what the post does to help veterans and the community.
You're helping the community, and it's a way of going to a place that people know who you are, and it's more of a family than it's more family oriented.
Repke and Fawcett say Shane's story is not unique and that many don't realize how the VFW allows veterans to serve their community long after they leave the service.
The VFW itself does a lot for veterans, to make sure veterans aren't forgotten.
We've taken, drive people to their doctor appointments. We take them grocery shopping. We plow out their driveway, shovel their sidewalks.
They say much of what they do goes unnoticed.
The VFW itself, we don't do a lot for advertising. We don't tell the people how much we do. Even the city of Coon Rapids, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of people that understand what we've done for the city. We've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we're kind of, in the background.
It's just something we want to do, and it's, we're not here to bring attention to ourselves,
But they're also going unnoticed by potential new members. Fawcett says at its peak, VFWs in Minnesota had 82,000 members and are at half that today.
A lot of that's attrition, a lot of it's World War II vets are dying. Right now I think the average is 750 veterans a day that pass away. The majority of them now are Vietnam veterans. Most of the World War II veterans have already gone, and the Vietnam veterans are in that age group. Korean veterans as well.
We had the hard economic times there back in about, a few years ago, and that hurt. And people dropped, and our membership kind of was dying out here too.
And most of the guys on the honor guard are our age. So it gets tougher for them to get out and do things. If we had some younger members, that wouldn't be the same, we wouldn't have the same problems.
The Coon Rapids post has dwindled from 1,000 down to 732 to date, with less than 100 younger vets from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
They're not coming in, and they're not active at all. They don't seem to tie with this place. They don't do it. And that's what I'm trying. I've been trying to talk to these guys, and trying to get them interested that this is as much their place as anybody else's. So.
I think a lot of it has to do with the times. I think people's free time is really spent now. I think things are going way fast. You know, back in our day, I guess, you know, you worked your 40 hours, stores were closed on weekends, you had more time. And nowadays, I think everything just runs together.
If current trends continue, many members don't see the VFW marching on much longer.
I'm working, you know, because I'm working hard here trying to get this post up and looking good and trying to attract the new members. So that hurts. But that's the way I think is what's going to happen.
Fawcett agrees, but hopes a more peaceful world will close down the club.
I would assume at some point it'll just go away. The idea of the veteran is to help people that come back from combat, veterans that have problems. If the wars end, there won't be a VFW. And we're hoping someday that could happen. It's not like in man that's ever going to happen, but that's what we're shooting for.
But this post isn't ready to surrender.
You're either going to let it go quietly or you're going to go fight against it and try to see if you can save it. My opinion is try to save it.
We set up programs. There is a veterans room up at Anoka Ramsey, trying to get the information out. And I know some of our members have gone to other places we know that there are veterans.
With many vets attending Anoka Ramsey Community College, Repke says the younger vets are in the community.
Which I wish they would realize this place is just as much for them as we are for them. So
Clubs in general have gone down in my generation. We don't do clubs. We don't do group things like we used, like the old generations did.
And with up to 20% of veterans returning with post-traumatic stress disorder, those who have been through it say coming together at a place like this can make things better.
we understand what they're going through. We know what they've gone through. We've all been there ourselves. Though back in my days, this PTSD wasn't, diagnosed at all. We had, and Vietnam vets had just as much, if not more, of the same problems as what they got now.
I think having that brotherhood is a very important piece, and I think that's the piece that would help a lot of the stress levels, I think the suicide.
This is not owned by a national organization or a state organization. It is owned by the members here. It is their post. They have all the say in the world they want to do. I'm trying to get them to learn that so they can come in there and know that they are a vital part of this post. They got a lot of say in it. It's not, we come in there and nobody's going to listen to us. No, we'll listen to you.
It wasn't something I felt like I was missing, but then when I got involved, I felt like I was glad I did.
For more information on what members do and how to join, go to CoonRapidsVFW.com or stop by the post here on Coon Rapids Boulevard.